Hi, this is My Two Favorite Librarians. I'm Denise Corey.
I'm Chantel Taylor, and today we're talking about Maud Lewis.
Heritage Day.
Yeah, happy Heritage Day, everyone.
Yeah, so Heritage Day, this is its third year? Fourth year.
I don't remember.
It's our February holiday, and it celebrates a different aspect of Nova Scotia heritage each year. And this year, they are celebrating folk artist Maud Lewis.
I think it's third year.
We could look that up, but, you know.
People are sleeping in anyway.
Yeah, so today, the library is actually closed.
We are closed, yes, for the holiday.
Which is nice. I'm going to sleep in. We're recording this in advance, so I'm probably sleeping in right now.
Oh, I totally am.
Mm-hmm. So, Maud Lewis. We have been celebrating Maud Lewis throughout the month. So if you ever want to know what the library is doing, you can go to our website, which is
www.cumberlandpubliclibraries.ca.
And on there, we have a calendar of events, and you can see what we're doing all through the whole month. But I'm going to talk about a couple things we're doing coming up in February.
Do we want to talk about who Maud Lewis is? Do you have a history of Maud Lewis in your notes?
I don't have a history of Maud Lewis. Do you have a history of Maud Lewis?
I did, and I don't think I brought it, but she was a Nova Scotia folk artist, and we were at knitting the other day, and one of the ladies said, "Oh, I've never heard of her," and I was like, "Oh, you know exactly who she is," and I flashed up like the kittens, and she's like, "Oh."
I love the kittens picture. Yeah. So Maud Lewis grew up near Digby, and she did not have a lot of money, and she married a fishmonger. I don't even know if fishmonger is a current job.
No, I don't.
And they lived in this tiny, tiny little shack,
which you can now visit at the Nova Scotia Art Gallery in Halifax.
Yeah, and she had rheumatoid arthritis. So one of our partners for Heritage Month has been the Arthritis Society, because they're using this as a way to educate people about the effects of rheumatoid arthritis. So her hands were really, you see the NFB footage of her hands, and it's just, it looks so painful. But she would just paint things, and she painted with whatever came to hand. She used to mostly paint on used up barn board, and she painted her house, which is why it's in the Art Gallery of Nova Scotia. She just painted all over the walls on the inside and the outside, and it was a wee little tiny house. When you go to look at it, it's like I wouldn't fit in that house. How did two people live in that house?
Yes.
And they had dogs. Yeah, so you can borrow the Maudie movie. It came out 2-ish years ago.
Yeah, I think so.
Or you can go see it in Spring Hill on Wednesday, February 20th.
At 6:30.
At 6:30. They're showing it at Spring Hill Library. But the library also owns it. You can borrow it. I think it's a slightly sanitized version of her life. And there is no way that her husband looked like Ethan Hawke.
Do we know if there was a Canadian producer, or is this a real international production?
The director was Irish, but they filmed it in Newfoundland.
Because they have very international actors, and I just thought,
well, Ethan Hawke has a summer cottage in Cape Breton, near Cape Breton.
Delightful story about him at the airport.
And I feel like he was one of the producers of this movie.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know for sure. Check your IMDb, Internet Movie Database. I should say that. So, yeah, we've been doing different activities. We have some Maud Lewis Paint Like Maudie nights. Most of those are booked up, because as soon as we started to publish them, or
advertise them, that's the word.
As soon as we started to advertise them, the signups were incredible. And then we also have some folk art crafternoons for the kids. So there's one in Pugwash on Wednesday, February 20th. And
there's one in Advocate in the next week, I think.
There's one in Amherst on Thursday the 21st. So, your kids can go out and make some folk art-ish type crafty things.
Yeah, and I think they'll just be putting out the supplies, and the kids could do whatever they want.
Yeah, that's great. Let their imaginations go wild. So we have tons of books based on Maud Lewis. You were going to tell us about books.
Well, and now I've never read any of these books actually, but I did print off our list. I should have put things in correct order, but I see in 2016 Maud Lewis, The Heart on the Door by Lance Wolliver.
He also wrote a play about Maud Lewis.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I believe we own that too.
The Painted House of Maud Lewis, Conserving a Folk Art Treasure. That's from 2001. And so you can see sort of pictures of her house. I'm assuming that they would also talk about the art gallery acquiring it, because I can't believe it was actually still standing to...
Well, a few years after her death, her husband was actually killed. He was well known as a person who liked to put his money in cans and hide them and bury them. And some people came in to rob him, and he was killed during that robbery. And his brother sold the house to a trust, the Painted House Trust, I believe they were called, for $11,000. And that was in the 70s.
Wow, that was very forward thinking of him.
And then the trust, I believe, donated the house to the Art Gallery of Nova Scotia.
Wow.
Which is nice, because now the house is inside, and that means that it will be preserved.
And I know I've gone to the art gallery and I visited the house. Can you actually go inside? I don't remember.
You can't go inside. And where the house used to stand, they actually have a sculpture there now that is the size of the house. So you can see what size it was without it actually being out there and exposed to the elements. I was up on the shore in the fall, and we stopped and took some pictures. It was nice.
Cool.
There's a little park there.
Nice.
Interpretive panels. I'm a person who loves an interpretive panel.
Well,
I will stop to read an
every
interpretive
plaque
panel.
ever. I traveled in Paris with her, and every street corner has a plaque on it.
And I love to read a plaque.
Every one of them.
Yes. Yeah, it's true.
Do you want more?
Yeah.
Do you want more books?
Oh, you know
I was
what?
going to mention the Maud Lewis 123 by Carol McDougall and Shonda Laramie Jones. And I know Shanda Laramie Jones, she does our Read to Me. She sends us our Read to Me boxes.
Oh, and that's a board book for kids, and it's got Maud Lewis art in it, and it's super cute because it's got the three cat picture on the cover. I love that picture. Just before Christmas, I bought us the Maud Lewis Christmas book, which I have not had a chance to read. Christmas with Maud Lewis. And yeah, I want to take a look at that. Yeah. What are you reading right now?
So, I am reading.
It's going to be romance. I know it's going to be romance.
So, I am reading Dragonbound by Thea Harrison. It's book 1 in the Elder Races series. And it's a paranormal-ish fantasy where the
romance.
Yeah, romance.
Don't leave that word out.
No, it's romance, definitely. And I'm really enjoying it. It was a recommendation for someone. I've been reading The Immortals After Dark, which is a paranormal. I've talked about it 100,000 times, and I don't read a lot of paranormal. And someone said, "Oh, you should read this." I'm loving it. I'm listening to it, and I'm 6 hours into the 12 hours.
So halfway.
Yes, it's good. I'm loving it a lot.
I have just finished Mr. Flood's Last Resort by Jess Kidd, and I know I mentioned this to you.
I have the audiobook on my desk.
I think I want to read it again to pick up sort of all of the nuances, but there is so much going on in this book. Actually, you know what? It ties in because the main character's name is Maud. Huh. Maud
Didn't plan that, did you?
I did not plan that. Maud is sent by a caregiving agency to take care of Cathal Flood, and he's like this cantankerous older gentleman who is also a hoarder, and she's trying to help him, clean his house up. But then while she's there, she gets embroiled in a mystery, and there's something about what happened to his wife. His wife passed away, but was it under
mysterious circumstances?
Yes. And then there's a missing daughter, and then somehow there are a lot of saints, and I mean like saints, with halos and stuff. They follow Maud around, and Maud's landlady is agoraphobic, but there's a whole thing. And I know I'm probably making it sound terrible, but it was so good, and yet like I feel like I've just missed so much of it. I don't know. I got to read it again.
And are you going to read it because you listened to it the first time, didn't you?
I listened to it the first time. I love an audiobook where the reader has a nice accent. She has a lovely sort of British accent. So I don't know. Maybe I'll read it.
Okay, interesting.
And it fits into the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge.
Of course it does.
It's a book with an amateur detective.
Nice. All right. How many have you finished so far? How many challenges have you checked off your list?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, you're not keeping track yet. Interesting.
I've finished 10 books this year so far, but not all of them fit into challenge categories.
Okay.
Yeah. I bet you've finished more books this year.
I may have finished 15 already.
It's not a competition, but it's so much a competition. Okay, so if you are interested in anything we have going on at the library, go to our website,
www.cumberlandpubliclibraries.ca.
On there, too, you will find all of our social media handles. We're on the Instagram,
Facebook, and Twitter.
You don't say it the way I say it. The Twitter, the Facebook.
It's all right.
And next week, we're going to be talking about Freedom to Read Week.
We love it. Yes.
Yeah, cool. See you next week.
Bye.